The most important part of a profile is how you give back and how you give more than you take.
Most pilots don't understand what career opportunities are available in the world of aviation. They're making career decisions based on advice from friends or posts on internet forums, meaning they are taking huge risks with their livelihood without having all the details. This podcast was created to help you understand the aviation industry so you can find your dream job. Let's get ready for Pushback. Here's your host and my dad, Nick Fialka.
Hey, pilot, what's up? It's Nick. We are ready to chat again on another solo episode. And I got this email from my man Tyson. He says, "Thanks for the work that you've put into the podcast. I've learned a ton so far and will soon be a full-up member of the Spitfire team." Tyson, way to go. And here's his recommendation. He says, "Based on recommendations from one of your earlier episodes, I created a LinkedIn account. While you've offered occasional tips on how to navigate the LinkedIn landscape, I thought an episode on how to handle some of the more unique encounters might be helpful to the pilot community. Keeping in mind that every interaction is very important, how do you deal with the sales pitches to invest in blah, 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 or some other at-home business, or the connections from individuals who are on foreign shores and might be fishing for information from service members that are still on active duty? I think hearing these tips on how to deal with this side of LinkedIn might be helpful. Thanks for the consideration. Regards, Tyson." All right, Tyson, this episode is for you, and I really appreciate that. I've been thinking a lot about this, and there's a lot of different things about LinkedIn. And so the first thing I want to do is talk to a person that has a general idea, uses LinkedIn on a basic level. There's LinkedIn Premium, and then there's LinkedIn Regular. You can get everything you need for free from LinkedIn, but you have to start in an offensive mindset. And there's a few things that I think that you need. The first is feel free to plagiarize, right? You need a legit profile. Your profile should be complete and should reflect who you are and be succinct without being too boisterous about your conquests and things of that nature. What I would say is, first, I would get a solid photo. If you're in the military, do not put a military photo on there. I get the idea. When you are looking for a civilian job, they don't want to hire a person with a high and tight and all the military stuff. They want to hire somebody that's engaging, that person that your mom thinks you are, right? That person that can make a sale, because that's whether you're flying airplanes or working in finance or doing sales, you're always selling. You're selling something. You're selling tickets to the airlines. You're selling a dream. You're selling an idea. You are selling. And so get a good picture. Get a quality photo. And even the new iPhones, you can get a great little picture, put it in portrait mode, don't get too crazy with it, and dress up real nice. You don't have to have a tie. You could have a tie, whatever, but get yourself a nice photo. Once you do have a nice photo, then let's move on to the next part of this, right? The profile has a whole bunch of different aspects, and the more complete this is, the more it allows people to kind of find you and understand you. There's a headline, there's a summary, there's a job title, there's your country and your zip code and your work experience and your education, your volunteering, all your skills. All of this should be filled out pretty well. And it can be a little daunting. And here's what I'll tell you. Plagiarism. Hop over to my LinkedIn. You'll find me, Nick Fialka, Nikfialka. I'm on LinkedIn. I do a lot on LinkedIn. I've got thousands and thousands of connections. And because I'm very super active on LinkedIn, probably more of that than any of the other socials. And so go over there and look at my profile, look at my headline, and you know what? Feel free to copy and paste it. When you look at mine, you are going to see that, let's hop over. I'm going to jump on my LinkedIn right now. LinkedIn, and I'm going to open it up and we'll find out what it looks like. And I'll tell you, My LinkedIn profile has a picture of me in a tuxedo because I had a really good picture. What is my title, right? It says podcaster, coach, pilot, and good dude. And you'll see that's also what my business card says. And the reason it says that is because I play everything pretty low key, pretty casual, but also that good dude part, it could come off as a little silly. I'll tell you that I already have my dream job. I'm a captain in a major airline. I love what I do. I think what I do is awesome and I'm excited about it. And so I kind of don't have to worry about that part. So think about those things that you want to put in front of people and you'll be surprised. I would say none of my titles says anything about me having 23 years in the military. And that's okay. It shows some of the jobs that I have. It shows kind of where I am in my career. And I think that it's important to understand kind of what your profile looks like as you build it. Keep looking back because this is what recruiters see when you're chatting with people. Like these are what these people are seeing. So you want to make sure that you've got the proper email address. If you do Twitter or something like that, you'll want to put that on there and that will all kind of link together. I would say another thing is you can choose in there like, hey, I'm looking for a job. It'll tell people that you're open to networking. You can do an awful lot with that. And as you look at your profile and look at my profile, right? Take a look at what that's saying. On mine, it tells my work history. It tells that I'm a pilot with a lot of experience and the things that I do that I think are important, Part 121 operations, crew resource management, threat and error management, teamwork, talks about my ATP and my type ratings. All of those things, I try to distill it down into what is most important. And so that about me portion, I think is really good. It tells, other important things, first class medical, FCC, your type ratings. I'm a CFI and a CFII, so that's on there as well. So that's all in kind of my about me category. And I didn't make this up. I actually copied and pasted it from somebody else's profile because I thought it was really good. I can see on mine that I need to update it. It's PIC type ratings. It doesn't say the 7.6 and the 7.57. So I'll need to add that on there and I'll probably do that before the episode is over. It's about your LinkedIn profile. Once that's built, put your education in there, build your volunteering portion. That's important. I would say to me, that's the most important part of a profile is how you give back and how you give more than you take. And so build that out. Mine's actually pretty weak. It doesn't have a whole lot now that I'm looking at it. It just says one of the nonprofits that I helped launch, and that's kind of it. But as you're building this, make it a reflection of your resume. This is your chance to go a little more in depth. And that gives you an opportunity to really talk about yourself. You can see where your interests are and who you follow. I would say if you're looking for a job in the aviation industry, you need to think about this. LinkedIn is not a place for politics. LinkedIn is not a place for standing on one social platform or another social platform or leaning one way or another. In my mind, LinkedIn is a place for you to build your value as a human. And so like there are some people that go into the political spectrums and there are people that go into social like organizations and stuff. If that's your thing, that's your thing. But right now your thing is looking for a job as a pilot. I would completely focus on doing that and not isolating yourself from somebody that might think opposite of you. I think that is really, really important. And so stay away from anything, stay away from posting things on LinkedIn, which could be considered political or social active in nature. Stand for what you believe in, but realize that what if the recruiter thinks the opposite of that? That could be your one shot, right? So those are a couple things. Now, how to actually go forward and to interact on LinkedIn. Let's talk about that. I think that's really important. I've been doing that for a really long time. I connect with so many people. And here's what I do. I try to reach out to people that have similar interests in what I have interests in, similar ideas in aviation. And my focus is oftentimes people that are up and coming in their aviation industry, in their career, and getting things started on one side of the house. The other side of the house are people that are established, that are giving back in their organizations, that are recruiters, that they work for different organizations within their company. And so you'll see I have kind of a broad brush stroke of people that I connect with and reach out to quite often on LinkedIn. So if you are an up and comer and you are a person who is coming into this world of LinkedIn, I think that it's a great idea to start looking for people that are interactive in the airlines that you are trying to target. Is it a regional? Is it a ULCC? Is it a major? Look for those recruiters. Now, once you find the recruiters, that's great, but don't just stop there. Look for people that work in the DE&I world. Look for people that work in the human resources world. Look for people that work in operations or maintenance or management or dispatch or whatever, and build yourself a network of people within those organizations that is massive. Y'all know who I fly for, but when you look at my LinkedIn, you're going to see that I connect with people at other airlines really deep and really far down because I want to know what's going on in those organizations because it helps me to relay that information and keep track so that I can tell you what I know and what I've learned. So from this, you can start reaching out. One of the first companies I started targeting was Spirit Airlines. And I found the director of HR and the pilot hiring team and chatted with them. And they were really awesome at chatting back with me. When I was trying to get a job back then, nobody was hiring. So it was a big stretch. And the same thing happened at Frontier. I was focused on getting a job at ULCCs. And I really enjoyed I would reach out to the recruiters at those companies and they would talk back to me. And we had great conversations. It wasn't about me finding a job. It was about me starting a small relationship with these people because to me, that's the most important part, right? Is the relationship. I love my relationships. Everybody that meets me knows how much I value the friendships that I get out of this podcast. And that's the truth about LinkedIn too. The people I talk with, I'm free with my information. I'm free with what I give because I think that the people in the LinkedIn sphere are kind of looking for the same thing. And you can tell when people are looking for the same thing. And so when I was working to succeed and move on from the middle of COVID, trying to get a job outside of just the regional where I was, the conversations that I struck up on LinkedIn, especially at Frontier, it literally led to me getting an invite to an interview. Outside of airline apps, outside of all of those things that you are normally thinking about, like conventions and stuff like that, I got my invite to Frontier 100% based on a conversation that I had with a recruiter on LinkedIn. 100%. And that, my friend, I think that I might still be the only person hired on LinkedIn to a major airline. And I love that. I'm so proud of that. And so I want to encourage you to get out there and to have these conversations. Now, listen up, because you are going to be trying to thread a needle with this. You have to engage. You have to have these conversations. But if they don't talk back to you, you have to play it cool. This is like writing a note to the cute boy or the cute girl at school and middle school and trying to get a date to the dance. Like, this is that awkward. Like, it gets so awkward where you send this, hey, I like you. Do you like me back? And there's no response. And so realize that and be careful about how you send your initial message. Hey, I thought I'd reach out. Thanks for connecting with me. my name's Nick. I've really wanted to work for your company for a long time. I was wondering if you had a chance to possibly chat about what it's like to be there, what the culture's like, blah, 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 whatever. And then you hear nothing back and you're like, oh, they don't like me. Maybe they do like me. Maybe I should send another one. Maybe I should get, and then all of a sudden you get obsessive and then you can't stop thinking about it. And maybe you write a second message like, oh, maybe you didn't see me. Just want to say hi. And then all of a sudden you write a third message and and then you just get weirder and weirder and weirder. And then it just gets psycho. Like literally, you have to be so careful with these messages that you send. Just take a breath, like send one message. If they write back, awesome, and they engage, great. But don't send 2, 3, 4, 5 messages. That's important. That is so important because the recruiters talk to a ton of people all the time, and they're always trying to balance their regular life and their company life and their LinkedIn life and all of these different things. So realize that the notes that you're going to send, the messages that you're going to send may or may not get responded to. So just be cool with it. That's important. I think also with that, as you are getting into this world of LinkedIn and you're making these connections and you're growing your network, that's great. And you participate in these groups. Look for other groups of like-minded groups, low-time pilots or professional pilots or cargo pilots or whatever. Look for different groups that you can join that have like-minded things, add smart comments that are intelligent and well-informed, and really participate well without getting confrontational. And if somebody gets weird and confrontational to you, just let it die and just ghost it and make sure of that. One of the other things Tyson's mentioned was, what do I do about the scammers, right? I cannot tell you how many people send me messages. I probably get 100 messages on LinkedIn a week, probably 100 a week. And 25% of that is probably some scam. And it's either somebody looking to sell me a franchise or somebody wanting me to invest in them or a pyramid scheme or some kind of bullcrap. And you just have to read through the tea leaves on that stuff. Most people that want to set up a 15-minute phone call with you are trying to sell you something stupid. So don't set up a 15-minute phone call. Just be aware that that is out there nonstop. The second part of that, honestly, is there's a big threat for military from the Chinese government and from the Russian government and from a few other international governments. Be very wary. Be so wary. If you are a military member and you have anything military-esque on your profile, you are a target, and those people are going to reach out. And a lot of times with the Chinese, it's oftentimes like people that are involved in higher education institutions trying to get you to come over and provide like, hey, we're interested in what you have to say. We'd love to have you out here to China to give a speech to our students who are learning about leadership or this or that or the other. Like, it's this dirty little secret that's out there. And people try to take advantage of that. And so you have to be very, very careful. Or a lot of times it's like a pretty girl or a young guy or something like that where they try to flirt with you. If somebody's trying to flirt with you on LinkedIn, you just delete, man. And when you get these messages, you can read the message or you can drop it into the other box, which is kind of like the junk mail box. And that's usually what I do whenever I have these people that reach out that are nefarious characters. There's a lot of that on LinkedIn. And so you have to be super careful, especially if you have a secret or top secret clearance or something a little further down the line. I need you to be aware of that more than ever as you get out of the military. That's a big deal. And so what I would say in conclusion is that LinkedIn is a great place for you to show who you are, showcase yourself, but also find an opportunity. There are lots and lots of opportunities, especially the business aviation side of the house. You'd be surprised at what can pop up. So if you currently do not have a polished up LinkedIn profile, you should get one. You should build it. You should invest the time to do it. It doesn't take much. It's not that hard. And you can network yourself out. find the people that are important to you and to your line of work and grow your network and probably find a solid job. It worked for me. It works for thousands of people, but don't be discouraged because it's just one other tool in your toolbox. It's not everything. It's not the end all be all, but it's one other thing. So use that. Everything that you have at your disposal to use to make yourself better, you should, because you deserve it. You're working really hard to try to get this job. And I know what you're doing, and I know what the struggle is, and I know how much money you're spending, and I know that it's hard, and I know that your wife or your husband is wondering if this is worth it. And I know that there's so much stress, and I know you're thinking about how could I ever do this? And do you know what? I think the same thing too. Every time I go out, every time I leave the house, I feel exactly like you do. And I want you to know that it's okay. And you will make it, and LinkedIn will help you make it, and I will help you make it, and we'll get there together. And I'm just thankful that you're here with me so I can talk to you for 23 minutes about why I think you're awesome. So that's what I've got to say tonight, today, this morning, whenever you're listening. I'm thankful for you, and you're doing the right thing. So keep going, keep getting yourself out there, keep getting yourself into a zone where you have not been before, because you're making yourself better. You're keeping your inertia going, and every single day you're just a little bit better. So keep it up. Thanks for listening. And your job right now, set up your LinkedIn profile and tell a friend to listen to my show. That's what's up. I love you guys. I'll see ya.
Hey, before I let you go, I need to mention one thing because a lot of people are asking me, can you do anything? Can you help me with this? And the answer is yes. At Spitfire Elite, we will make more millionaires this year than Major League Baseball will make in the next 5 years. Our company actually does this. It's called Spitfire Elite Interview Consulting. And you can find us over at SpitfireElite.com. Our clients, they call us the easy button for interview prep because everything you need to crush your interview is there in one spot. Whether it's application review or interview prep, all of it is covered. We've helped thousands of clients who are now flying at their dream jobs because our coaches gave them the one-on-one feedback that they needed to succeed on the biggest day of their life. The best part of Spitfire is our community. All Spitfire clients will get access to our private chats where they can work with each other and they can work with our coaches and get the latest information on all the airlines. If you'd like to make sure that you are 100% ready to go on your big day, there is only one choice. Everything you need is in one place, and I think it's pretty affordable. You'll have to take a look for yourself. Just go over to SpitfireElite.com and check us out. Use the coupon code PODCAST and it'll save you 10%. And by the way, I will see you on the next episode. The statements made on this show are my own opinions and do not reflect, nor are they under any direction from my employer.